So glad you're here. Uh, yeah, I have to ask you something. And I'm not going to let you get away without answering the question because it's important, as all my questions are. So last night, uh, holy crap. Last night, that dream I had was as soon as I woke up, I immediately assumed that it was something that you wanted me to put in my latest book, The Dark Side Down. It was that twisted. It was. Seriously, I woke up thinking, what in the world did I just witness? It was so twisted. So, naturally, when I woke up, I immediately assumed that you were trying to communicate to me and give me something to put in my story. Natural reaction, right? I'm a writer who pays close attention to his muse, who just so happens to constantly be giving me inspiration. So, yes, of course. I assumed that little bit of dark, twisty fiction was meant for my book. And then as the day went on, I gave it a little bit more thought and started wondering, really? I mean, all of the elements in that book have started to come together. Everything is just meshing, and it's ready to kind of resolve itself. And you throw that at me. So, as the day progressed, I started thinking, how, as an artist, how am I supposed to know when you are communicating to me ideas for me to use in my books, or is that just my subconscious mind twisting everything up into a nice little package that my brain can comprehend, and the catharsis, it ends that whole process, and I move on? Sometimes it's such a barrage, and I've talked to you about this before. You throw so much at me that I'm not sure. And how am I supposed to discern what you're telling me? You communicate to me all the time. You talk to me more than my friends do. And I'm just supposed to know. Just supposed to know. Just supposed to know that this little bit of information that you're handing me actually belongs in the story that I'm currently writing. Or maybe that nightmare that you gave me last night, I'm assuming you gave me, and it wasn't the tacos that I ate previously, that maybe that nightmare was actually meant for something else. And yes, of course, I can easily recall that nightmare and put it in my notes and say, let's just save that little piece of information for later, and we'll put it in another story. But sometimes, as an artist, when we're so embroiled in what we're creating at the moment, when all this other stuff comes at us, it kind of clouds and muddies the issue. Especially when that nightmare that you handed me, I'm assuming that you handed it to me, was so closely related to what I'm writing. And then, of course, my rational mind says, oh, but wait a second. Maybe that nightmare was a result of what you had written that night. So I'm writing, and then I close my laptop and I put my head down to rest, and then my subconscious takes everything that came out of me and puts it back into me in a different form. And then I'm all confused. So, I mean, maybe this is just a recursive telling of my the inspiration that you give me. And maybe the nightmares are an unfiltered look at what I have just written. You see how this gets really confusing? I mean, I've had those instances where it's very clear to me that the nightmare that I had was an obvious manifestation of the words that I have put on paper, digital paper, of course, that night. But sometimes it's like my nightmares, dreams, whatever, take everything that happened to me during that day and then filters it through whatever I'm writing at the time, be it the Nameless Saga or the iZombie series or the Clockwork Movement series or whatever, anything, and twists it around so that my reality and my disreality become one and the same. And then I wake up and I have to sift through it all and go, yeah. But, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all. It's trust me, this is a great problem to have. You know, to be able to subconsciously filter and merge reality and fiction to create some sort of uber story, some meta version of my life, my realities, my various and sundry realities, and create something beyond. And then it is my job to try to remember that and put it in my notes so maybe I could go back and use it again. I mean, this, it's like an Ouroboros of inspiration. You know, the snake eating itself. I'm feeding on fact and fiction, on reality and fiction. I'm feeding on this, eating it all, gobbling it all down, and then letting it all mix together in my gut, and then flushing it out. And whatever comes out, I sift through that and say, oh, that's usable, that's not usable, oh, that's... And then there's this golden nugget that never, ever would have come into existence had I not paid attention. It's a bit much, isn't it? No one ever said that the artistic life was easy, because it ain't. Easy, relatively speaking. I mean, I know, I get it. I mean, this is a serious first world problem here. Problem. 2 air bunnies in one discussion. Anyway, that's what's going on right now. And yeah, I'm thankful. I'm thankful for this. You know I'm thankful for this. I'm grateful. I love this. This is great. I don't know what I would do without this. I'm going to have to keep a dream journal by my bed. Because every once in a while these things vanish into the ether before I can piece them back together. Anyway, that's that. And this is this. And I'm going to keep going. And you're going to hang out and look over my shoulder and work your magic. Right? Magic. Magic is illusion.